I just loved making the album that way.
Wasn't it a kind of difficult to let that piece of work to him? Because I guess when you started working on an album, you form an idea about how you want that certain album to sound like, and then you just let someone else make the final sound.
It wasn't as cut and dry as that. I mean, I was in the studio during I was there when they were recording everything. Like, there was definitely a lot of conversations about how I wanted it to sound and the kind of, you know, the way I wanted them to interpret the music. But in a lot of ways, there was I kind of wanted there to be a freedom about it, and I kind of wanted there to be sort of that freedom of having great musicians in a room. You know, you can't force great performances out of people, you know, like my ideas aren't necessarily going to be as great as like Tommy sitting there with his eyes closed just coming up with amazing guitar lines, or, you know, Binky kind of like, you know, just, you know, coming in the exactly the right way and like putting chunks in the right parts, or, you know, Homer kind of like working out the exact snare tone that he wants for the thing. But he would actually get his wallet out of his back pocket and put it on the snare drum to have it like sound a little bit tighter. And it was little things like that, little nuances that, you know, that kind of brought, it was almost like having a featured artist on the whole album, you know, having the Dap Kings play. So it was great, but it was definitely like, by no means like, it wasn't like I was sitting there going, yeah, do what you want. There was a definite, you know, idea of the direction of the album. But a lot of the direction was also kind of sort of implanted in the songs that I wrote anyway, you know. There's often just one or two great ways to play particular chord progressions, you know, at a particular tempo, a particular pace. I mean, like, if you were to re-record, I don't know, Thriller, you know, how many ways do you want to kind of, how many ways could you reinterpret those chords? I mean, like, the way that sort of it is sort of like the obvious way to play those chords at that tempo, you know what I mean, using those instruments. So I think that often music guides itself in a lot of ways.
Yeah, but maybe when someone doesn't know the original music, it can be a surprising result, don't you think?
Definitely. I think there was a really cool thing about having, you know, kind of like, you know, there was a little bit of like, almost like a distance between like my songwriting that I was doing, and I was writing with a lot of my friends, and like I was definitely like, you know, coming up with songs all the time, and then sort of, and then going into the studio with the Dap Kings, and there was a distance between sort of that part of it and then the Dap Kings playing on it. So they were hearing the songs that I'd lived with for a while. They were kind of hearing them with fresh ears, which was really cool as well. So I think it was, I mean, I just loved making the album that way. I think that, you know, I think it's because I spent so many years being very like a micromanager and very controlling of the way I wanted everything to sound, and because I can produce music myself, you know, I've produced albums before. I used to produce all the stuff that I did when I was a kid, and so to actually sort of stand back from that side of things, it actually felt really good in a way. It felt like more liberating for me as an artist, you know what I mean?